Hello, welcome back. In this part, we will now see the chemical properties of steel. Now, we understand that steel is an alloy and composed of many additives. Now, these additives with different chemical composition, different grades of steel can be produced. So there you can see different additives are present, which we can use in the steel: manganese, chromium, copper, cobalt, molybdenum. So these additives at different percentage, at different chemical composition, if we add them with the primary content, then different grade of steel can be formed. For example, in case of chromium, if we add iron carbon with chromium and nickel, then the form that generates is stainless steel. Okay. Now we are very familiar now as with the increase of carbon content, the strength of steel increases along with the hardness. But at the same time, the ductility and welding is decreased. Also, with the increase of carbon content, the temperature resistance is also decreases. With different carbon content, we can have different grade of steel. So now I am showing here the different grade of steel based on the carbon content. Now in these grade, maximum content of carbon, we use 1.7%, manganese maximum 1.65%, silicon to a maximum extent of 0.6%, and copper 0.6%. So low carbon steel will be, first category is the low carbon steel, and there you can see the carbon content is less than 0.15%. If this carbon content is between 0.15 to 0.29%, then this will be known as mild carbon steel. Then if the percentage is between 0.3 to 0.59, then it will be known as medium carbon steel. High carbon steel is when the percentage is between 0.6 to 1.7%. So these different type of steel are used for different purpose. In case of structural steel work, most of the time we use mild steel. I will show you the table with the property of the steel which we will be using in this semester. Now in case of alloy steel, additives that I have mentioned in the previous slide, additives like chromium, nickel, manganese. So if they are less than 5%, then we call it alloy steel. Now this alloy steel is high in strength but low in ductility. The other grade of steel, or we can say special steel, in this special steel the additive is more, which means more than 5%. They provide higher strength and they also provide some special characteristics. For example, corrosion resistant steel, fire resistant steel. Stainless steel is also comes under the category of special steel. And in case of stainless steel, you can see chromium content is as large as 11%. Now coming to discuss the mechanical property of steel. Well, when we talk about the mechanical properties, stress strain curve is the standard to check the property. Now tensile test is usually conducted on steel specimen to calculate various properties such as the strength, hardness, ductility, elasticity, etc. So basically there you can see this is the steel specimen which is being used to conduct the tensile test, and as the load is applied on this specimen, the graph is being formed. So there you can see up to this point steel is elastic, and after this point Now up to this point, it becomes plastic. You can see this is the very large line of stress strain curve. So longer this curve is, the larger will be ductility. While in case of some steel with large content of carbon, this much line will not form. So those lines may form, say, up to like this. They may be harder, they may take more stress, but the ductility will be very less as compared to the mild steel. This curve that I am showing is of mild steel, and it is having a very large ductility. So using this stress strain curve, we can determine the elasticity, we can determine the yield stress, we can determine the maximum strength of the steel, how much maximum strength it can take. So this steel stress strain curve plays a very important role while determining the property of steel. The very important property of steel is called hardness. Now this hardness is more if the carbon content is more. Hardness is basically regarded as a resistance to the material to the deformation or to the scratching. So resistance to scratching is basically known as hardness. Now this is generally determined by forcing an indenter on the surface. So if we check the hardness of steel, so basically what is being done is indenter is being forced on the surface of steel, and then the impression is being measured. Now this impression in terms of plastic is being observed. So basically there are some tests which are being used to conduct hardness, to check the hardness of steel, like Brinell hardness, Vickers hardness, Rockwell hardness method is also used. So now there is a question for you. You have to check what is the hardness number of steel. So these are the tabulated form of mechanical property showing the strength of the steel. So there you can see standard structural steel that we use in our structural work. They are basically graded into three categories: Fe 415A, B, C. Fe stands for ferric, 410 is the ultimate strength, A is basically the grade. So there you can see yield strength of this type of steel along with the thickness. If the thickness of steel is less than 20, the yield strength will be around 250. If the thickness is between 20 to 40, it will be around 240. If it is greater than 40 mm, it will be around 230 mm. Now, why this variation of strength is happening? Because of the quality control. Now, thinner is the steel, there will be chances that there will not be any air void. Thicker is the material, there are chances that there may be a presence of air voids, and if there is a presence of air void, then the strength of steel may be less. So that is why the yield strength is taken less in case of thicker material. Okay. Elongation percentage is also given, how much elongation is being observed from the tension test. So in the next part, we will discuss the steel products that are available in the market and the types of structure that are present with the steel structure. Thank you.